David, with your experience in sitcoms, in the sitcom world, do you mostly deal with creating interesting characters to interact with the recurring characters, or just the situations?
You know, with both Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and obviously in both cases, the main characters were very well defined, and in both cases, well defined long before I got there. I like to think, you know, I was able to add some things here and there, but, you know, very well defined, and also, you know, amazing actors on top of the defined characters who, I think as writers, often you put something on a page and you think to yourself, this is as good as it's ever going to be. That's the writer's ego. It's not going to be any better than this. And 98% of the time, it isn't any better than this. It's actually often a lot worse. You just kind of deal with that fact. Seinfeld, it was always better. They always did a line a little differently that you just weren't expecting. And it was all character. It was all sort of thinking about, what would this person do? What would, you know, or often, you know, what would I do in that situation? Who could I put that on? And with Seinfeld especially, and I can remember this really clearly, there were episodes where the stories aren't particularly great, but I could show you the episode and go, line for line, some of these jokes are really, really great. And they're just bandages covering stories that aren't working, and like characters not really being true to what they maybe should be doing. And again, not that there's a rule of what they should be doing, but this sort of that grand perfection. And yeah, joke for joke, we would all go, oh, that is a really good joke, and that is a really good joke. And it just doesn't matter. And when we were editing Seinfeld, when we edit Curb Your Enthusiasm, or at least the last time we edited Curb Your Enthusiasm, jokes are often the first thing to go in the name of story, clarity, character, and all of those things, which was a really tough lesson to digest when I was younger. The idea of getting rid of a joke just seemed like, why would you ever do that? That seems like something a studio would do. And yet, they go because other things take precedence to make it ultimately that much funnier. And in Seinfeld, very few people, I think, remember any particular line. There are funny lines, but you kind of remember the one where Jerry did blank, or the way George acted or such. Anyway.